Hey folks, Maverick Indicators here. All right, what a banger of a morning. Oh, we just broke that zone. I don't know if you saw that, but we had a zone right here we're breaking. Starting to get red candles here. I'm thinking I'm going to take a tester here. Normally do not get into gray candles, but we've been flickering red on this guy. And red is your second strongest downside data candle. Did you see it right there? So I'm willing to get in a little early on this guy. And I'll walk you through why I'm in this trade. Stop loss is already in. But I think, after this morning where we were just coming up this entire time, look at this. Huge morning. Huge morning. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Bright green is your strongest upside data candles. Maverick AI Pro mapped this morning out pretty damn good. Why are we in this trade? Let me walk you through. And I'm getting in a little early. I'm okay with that though. I'm okay. I got my stop loss in at the top of this candle. And the reason I'm getting in a little early is because we have the Maverick zones that auto draws are support and resistance zones. You got a zone up here, but then your next zone is way down here. And this is a zone to zone game. This could be a huge move right here. Okay. And we're starting to get, there's a little bit of advanced kind of thing here, but we're starting to get reversal candles here. All right, so look, now we're starting to get red candles. Red is your second strongest downside data candle. I am in manipulation time, so we have to be careful here. But let me walk you through why I'm in this trade, because I'm just babbling here, I feel like. Red background, the bears are in control. You have a red background for the first time since 9:50 a.m., okay? It is 1 o'clock Eastern, okay? So we have a red background. We're starting to turn over, all right? We're starting to turn over. The second thing is we have a red candle that's starting here, okay? Red is your second strongest downside data candle, okay? Red is your second strongest downside data candle. This thing's going to start moving, it feels like. I'm going to wait till this time turns white. Okay, this time just turned white. We're out of manipulation time. I'm adding a contract, okay? I'm adding a contract. All right, so red background. Whoops, overshot that. Red background, the bears are in control. We've gone from bright green candles to green, your second strongest, to gray, which means indecision or reversal, to now red candles. The Maverick AI Pro colors your candles like a heat map. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. The Maverick AI Pro mapped out this morning perfectly, if you ask me. Then, if you see pink, it will most likely sink. Sorry, this is way down here, but if you see pink, it will most likely sink. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. Red is your second strongest downside data candle. The coolest thing, one of the coolest things about the Maverick AI Pro is it colors your candles to the data, not to price and direction. So it's like a heat map. Bright green candles, we're flying up. Gray is indecision or reversal, and now you got this red candle. Love this. This is telling me that there's rich downside data, okay? All right, rich downside data. Now, why are we in this trade? We got to be set up to the downside on the ultimate trading assistant, the Maverick Radar. The Maverick Radar is going through our entire checklist to make sure, do we actually have a setup? And if we do have a setup, it'll say no setup, a B setup, or an A setup. And right now, we're showing a B setup. Why do I want to know about B setups? Because I want to know, no pun intended, when a setup is setting up. I don't know if that's a pun, but you get my point, okay? So we got a red background. The bears are in control. We're starting to get red candles, your second strongest downside data candle. Downside data candle, Okay, there's a formula crunching in the background, looking at the severity of these buying and selling. And I'm not going to get into the formula right now because I'm trying to pay attention. And then we got a B set up to the downside on the ultimate trading assistant, the Maverick Radar, confirming. How many times have you gotten into a trade, you get stopped out, you look back and you go, what was I even thinking? Well, let the Maverick Radar be your eyes. Let it confirm what you think you're seeing. Do you even have a setup? If I looked at this and I went, oh my God, I'm going to go short, and then we didn't have a setup here, there was no setup, didn't have a grade, I wouldn't touch my mouse. Okay, that's the power of the Maverick Radar. All 5 traders are mostly bearish across 6 timeframes. Think of T1 through T5 as traders. They're algorithms, but think of them as traders. And they're voting every single tick across 6 timeframes. And they're traders. I'm going to add one more contract, guys, and then I'm calling it quits on contract adding right before manipulation time. Beautiful. So think of T1 through T5 as traders, they're algorithms, so think of them as traders, and they're voting across 6 timeframes. Imagine if I put you in the room of 5 other traders that are all voting every single tick across 6 timeframes, and they're giving you their vote. If I put you in the room of 5 traders and they all have a completely different style, and they're all bearish on 6 timeframes, do you think that you would be like more confident in taking a short right here? I think so, right? Okay, guys, if it hits 1,000, I'm just going to close it. I am on a funded account. And again, sometimes people go, well, why don't you let it keep going after 1,000? Because there's something called a consistency rule. If you're not trading prop firm accounts, look it up. You do not. You don't want a $30,000. I'm not saying this would be a $30,000. I'm saying you don't want a $30,000 win because that'll mess up your. I'm being dramatic. That'll mess up your consistency rule, and you'll never be able to ask for a payout unless you start really crushing on every single trade. All right, so you're in manipulation time. We're gonna get a little bit of retracement. You're just going to. You're in manipulation time. When this time turns white, we should continue to the downside, but let's see. You're getting some retracement. We'll probably come back up to maybe the Maverick guide right here. We got another 20 seconds of manipulation time, okay? That's why the Maverick Atomic Clock that's in the new toolkit for NinjaTrader that came out this weekend, that's why it turns red, okay? Now, all our indicators in the Ultimate Edge bundle work on NinjaTrader and TradingView. Obviously, this one's for NinjaTrader because it's, in a toolkit for NinjaTrader. All 5 traders are still pretty bearish on the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute. Okay, still have our B set up to the downside. We have red candles, our strongest downside data candle, second strongest downside data candle. Sorry, hot pink is our strongest downside data candle. Okay, got a down confidence arrow. What we're doing, folks, is we are stacking probability. We're stacking probability in our favor, right? We're looking for multiple pieces, right? Red background, bears are in control. Red candles. First red candles you've had since all the way back here, okay? Red candles, red data candles, okay? I would love some pink candles, but I'll settle for red. B setup to the downside. Maverick Radar, going through your entire checklist to tell you, do you even have a setup, okay? Price is below the Maverick guide. Remember, we like to go long when price is above the Maverick guide, short when price is below it, and I could just show you this all day long. Long when price is above it, short when price is below it, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Let me clean up my charts here. All right. Cool. So, a Maverick Trender is pegged to the top. Didn't even point this out. When this line is pegged to the top, that is showing massive strength and momentum. You get this downtrend label right here. Look at these moves. We call these flat tops. Look at this. Flat top from here to here. Can't go any further. Look at these moves. Crazy. Flat top from here to here. Crazy moves. Okay? Right now, your Maverick Trender is pegged to the top. Red. That means to the downside. Downtrend label. Okay? And now the Maverick zones auto draws your support and resistance zones. I haven't even talked about this. We no longer have to draw our support and resistance zones. The Maverick zones can draw it for us. How stinking cool is that? And go back and watch our videos. We're between two zones right here, but as price gets closer to this zone, it'll start populating a score. Same thing here. We don't populate it if price is not close to it, because there's no reason to. We're not going to take up CPU power to populate a score way up here when price is way down here, right? Okay. But it's called a probability score of price holding or breaking. And we don't have that now because we're in between these two zones. But guys, this is a zone to zone game. You came up, you tapped this zone, you went down to this zone, you broke through this zone, you came back, you tested it, you came up to this zone, okay, you found friction, and now look what we're doing. We want to head back down to this zone. That's what we want to do, right? I'm going to close this out. If we get up to 1,000, got another confidence arrow. I love that. That lets me know, hey, you're moving in the right direction. Now it's calculated every tick. So it needs to close with that confidence arrow. Okay, still have our B set up to the downside. I don't know if you can see that through the zones. Here, we'll go like that. There we go. So still got your B set up to the downside. Maverick trender still pegged. We have our red candles, our second strongest downside data candle. All 5 traders are still voting bearish across 1, 2, 3, 4 time frames. Okay, you are in manipulation time, so we got to be careful. We might retrace a little bit, we might not, but this is potential manipulation time. Okay, Maverick atomic clock turns red during potential manipulation time. Okay, and this is a zone to zone game. Zone to zone game. How cool is it? The Maverick zones draws that for us. All right, let's go. Let's go. Just need a nice push down. I will close it if we get over 1,000. Oh my gosh, right to the nose. Holy smokes. That was right to the nose. Did you see that? I closed it right at 1,000. I'm not big on the take profit line. I just feel like I've had too many times. Look at this. This thing's just going to keep coming down. I've just had too many times where it comes down and it just almost touches it and then it bounces and I'm like, ugh. So I like to just hit the close button. But there you go. Now, will this thing keep going? Probably. It sure looks like it just wants to keep going. I'm just going to close it off at 1,000. But all signs are pointing to this thing wants to head towards the next zone. Okay, and you can see it continuously drops. So listen, if you want clear vision on your charts, if you want some edge in the market, all right, not financial advice, do your own research, never any guarantees on any, oh my gosh, look at this. This thing's pushing down like crazy. This might not look like a big move if you're looking on your phone or something, but this is one strong candle. We'd probably be easily up $1,500, $1,800 at this point, but that's okay. All right, we got our 1,000. We're all good, and we gotta manage our funded accounts appropriately. So if you want edge in the market, if you want clear vision on your charts, if you want to stack probability in your favor, not financial advice, do your own research, never any guarantees in any market. And remember, if you're trading right now, I don't know when I'm posting this, I'll post this in just a couple of minutes, but you got news this afternoon, the Maverick news indicator right here that comes in the toolkit we released 2 weekends ago. You got president speaking at 3:15. So if you're going to be in a trade, just be mindful of that. And look, it marks it on your chart. How stinking cool is that? So anybody who's been in a trade and then you hit news, man, those algos take over. Anyway, at a glance, I can see where the news is and all this stuff. Tomorrow we got news. So just a cool thing. I can turn it off with a click of a button, and pretty cool stuff. So listen, if you want edge in the market, if you want clear vision on your charts, doesn't get any clearer than this. Come check us out. All right. MaverickIndicators.com. That's MaverickIndicators.com.